Thank you very much. We've had a lot of very big news and some very good news today, but I'd like to hold this for China. There's nothing bigger than what we're doing with China. I think it's important that these are the questions that are asked. And as you know, we have the Vice Premier of China, one of the most respected men in all of China and the world, for that matter. We have great respect for him and great friendship with him. And we've come to a very substantial phase one deal, and I'll go through some of the points, and then I'll ask the Vice Premier to say a few words and any comments that he may have. We've come to a deal, pretty much subject to getting it written. It'll take probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or 5 weeks. As you know, we're going to be in Chile together, the big summit, and maybe it'll be then, or maybe it'll be sometime around then. But we've come to a deal on intellectual property, financial services, a tremendous deal for the farmers, a purchase of from $40 to $50 billion worth of agricultural products. To show you how big that is, that would be 2.5, 3 times what China had purchased at its highest point thus far. So they were purchasing 16 or 17 billion at the highest point, and that'll be brought up to 40 billion to 50 billion. So I'd suggest the farmers have to go and immediately buy more land and get bigger tractors. They'll be available at John Deere and a lot of other great distributors. But we're taking the purchase of agricultural products from 40 to 50 billion, meaning in that neighborhood from 40 to 50 approximately billion. And what they've been doing now, I believe, is about 8 billion, right? 8, right now it's 8. The other thing I will say is over the last 2 weeks, a lot of purchases have started going back to our farmers. And you've been doing a lot of business with us, which we appreciate very much. But it really started a few weeks ago. But they intend to go up ultimately once the agreement is signed from 40 to 50 billion. And that was from a base of probably 16 billion. And right now it's 8 billion. And the 8 billion was lower than 8 billion. They got up to 8 billion because they've been purchasing quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. So we also have the agricultural structural issues. We have some incredible progress on the structure and structural issues. And Bob, perhaps you could discuss that, please, on agriculture and explain the importance of the structural issues that we've solved.
Well, I would say probably at least as important as the purchases is the fact that we've corrected a variety of SPS, what we call sanitary, phytosanitary issues that we've corrected, biotechnology issues, and it will be much easier now for American farmers to be able to ship to China, and we've made some corrections on our side too that will help the Chinese side.
And that's been completed and pretty much done.
That's correct.
Another big issue that we've come to conclusion on is currency, foreign exchange. And Steve, do you want to explain that, please?
We've had very good discussions with Governor Yi, the head of the People's Bank of China, their central bank. We've also had extensive discussions on financial services, opening up their markets to our financial services firms. So we have pretty much almost a complete agreement on both those issues. And as you know, Mr. President, currency has been a very big concern of yours since the campaign. And we have an agreement around transparency into the foreign exchange markets and free markets. So we're very pleased with that.
We've also made very good progress on technology transfer, and we'll put some of technology transfer in phase one. Phase two will start negotiations almost immediately after we've concluded phase one and papered it. And I think phase one should happen pretty quickly. So you have intellectual property. We have an agreement on intellectual property. Financial services, the banks and all of the financial services companies will be very, very happy with what we've been able to get. And I think China's going to be very happy because they'll be served very well by these great institutions being able to go into China. And it's gonna be a tremendous thing for banks and for financial service companies. Agricultural, structural issues, tremendous for the farmers. As Steve said, that's almost as good as, which I disagree with him on that, but it's almost as good as going from 8 billion and then to 16 billion, which was their all-time high, to 40 to 50 billion. So we're going to be up to 40 to 50 billion dollars of agricultural purchases, which means the farmers are gonna have to work a lot of overtime to produce that much. That's the largest order in the history of agriculture, by far, by 2.5 times. And technology transfer, we'll have some technology transfer in the agreement, but technology transfer will largely be done here and also in phase two. So we're gonna start negotiating phase two after phase one is completed and signed. And then there may be a phase three, or we may get it done in phase two. So you'll either have 2 phases or 3 phases. So we're very happy with it. We have great respect for China, great respect for President Xi. And I want to just tell you that I watched the 70th anniversary in great detail, and it was an incredible event. And congratulations on the 70th, everyone. That was really something very amazing to watch. Mr. Lighthizer has done a terrific job. All of my team, I think, has done a fantastic job. The Vice Premier, I want to just thank you very much for being here with your team. You're very tough negotiators. Congratulations. But it's something that we both realized right from the beginning is very important, not only for China, not only for the U.S., but for the world. And every time there's a little bad news, the market would go down incredibly. Every time there was a little bit of good news, the market would go up incredibly. And yet other news that was also very big, the market just didn't really care. They just seemed to care about the deal with the USA and China, and that's okay with me. So we've had a tremendous, really negotiation, a very complex negotiation, but something that's going to be great for both countries. And Mr. Vice Premier, would you like to say something?
代表中国政府对特朗普总统在国庆节对中国表示70周年表示祝贺，表示衷心的感谢。
Firstly, on behalf of the Chinese government, we would like to extend our thanks to President Trump for your congratulatory message to the 70th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China.
我们非常同意，中美解决好贸易关系，有利于中国，有利于美国，有利于世界。现在我们已经正在向非常正面的方向走着，取得了很大的进展。
We very much agree that to get the China-US economic relationship right, it's something that is good for China, for the United States, and for the whole world. And we are making a lot of progress towards a positive direction.
这2天呢，我和莱特希特大使、穆斯林财长进行了非常好的沟通。我们在诸多领域，像刚才总统先生说的这些领域，取得了一些实质性的进展，我们感到非常高兴。
Over the recent days, I have had a very good communication with both Ambassador Lighthizer and Secretary Mnuchin. And Mr. President, as you just mentioned, we have made substantial progress in many fields. We are happy about it.
我们将继续努力。
We'll continue to make efforts.
感谢总统先生给我发言的机会，
And thank
中国的
you
同事都非常高兴。
for this opportunity for me to speak up, and all my colleagues are happy about it.
Well, thank you very much, and it's a great honor. I think that the currency foreign exchange agreement that we made will be of tremendous benefit, both in terms of the magnitude of it and in terms of the simplicity of what we're able to do. It'll make a very complicated process much simpler. I think that in itself, I just see as something that we've all been working for. Yes, please.
Read the letter to you.
Well, thank you very much. Could I see that?
Of course, yes.
Thank you very much. That's very nice. Thank you very much. Yes. Oh,
有马一个是非常所以这个
yes, this is for guys like John that aren't good with Chinese. They'll have that magnified so fast your head will spin. Well, it's a tremendous message, and thank you very much. And I've read this, and I appreciate it very much. This is from President Xi, and we knew that we were going to have a very successful phase one. And it took us a long time to get here, but it's something that's going to be great for China and great for the USA, and we appreciate it very much. And please congratulate President Xi. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President, I just want to clarify on the tariffs.
Please.
So I was just going to clarify, the Vice Premier has requested and the President has approved. While we go through a process of documenting this, we will not be implementing the increase of tariffs that were scheduled to go in place from 25 to 30%.
The ones that were supposed to go into place on Tuesday next week.
That's correct. That's correct. Those will be deferred.
Including the other ones.
Mr. President, are we now closer to a complete end of this trade war? Do you have a timetable? in mind?
Yeah, I think we're very close. I think this is a very important phase. It's, a lot of things are here, or agriculture will be completed because when we bring it up to $50 billion, I project is gonna be the number. I don't know that there's a question as to whether or not our farmers can produce that much, and I think they can. But they're literally, and I said it jokingly, I think I mean it, they're gonna have to buy more land, which is okay. Be a good time to own land in Iowa and Nebraska and a lot of other great states. So they're very happy about it. But we're taking it from 8 billion, which it is now, and it was about 2 or 3 billion. They got down pretty low. But if you take the highest it ever was 16 billion, and we're bringing that to 50 billion. So we're going from 16 to 50. So anywhere between 40 and 50.